Alexander, New York.
This is a story about a team of 5 Australians who travelled to the other side of the world, to New York, to achieve something big. This is about how they combined their skills and experience to create a sensational runway show for New York Fashion Week. We'll meet the people who achieved this vision, starting with a bold and creative fashion designer, a talented stylist to polish the look, an inspiring music producer to dial up the mood, a production manager to convert ideas into action, a digital producer to make it visible on a global screen. This is a story about 5 Australians being great.
The fashion industry is a big industry. And I tell you what, there's so many more people in it than the designers. So just because you love fashion and you want to be part of this doesn't mean you have to be a designer. You find what you're best at and you do it. Teamwork, which is something I had to get used to. That's how you succeed. The one-man band is only just a drummer. So the orchestra is what gets a standing ovation. So finances is a big thing, you know, and I am tortured between the art and the finance. Without the finance, the art doesn't happen. But at the same time, I didn't want my life to be driven by what I can spend to create. Passion. How do you bring that out? By putting it on the catwalk every season. I put my heart, soul on the line every time I send a collection down the runway, because they're gonna love it or hate it. So the saying about nothing good is easy, very true. So we were flying over to a country I'd never been to with a team of people. I think about 150 kilos worth of luggage. My phone goes off and cancellation and nowhere to stay. Everything goes wrong at some point, right? Nothing's always going to go right, and as much as you want it to. No one's seeing what's happening backstage at Fashion Week. Right, when I'm dripping with sweat, we've got girls screaming, we've got zips breaking and sewing girls into pieces. You don't see that. You see these girls walk out with the most confidence you've ever seen, walking out to the end of the catwalk in these spotlights and walking back, and then somehow I pop out at the end, cleaned of sweat and looking half presentable. With the right amount of thought, creativity, insight, talent, and support, it can happen. It won't always happen, but it can.
It's That Jack with Jack Stockton.
This is Savannah Pump, and you're watching That's Jack. And this is Chicken. What are you watching?
That's Jack. What's up, Mario Lopez, and you're watching That Jack.
Hi, I'm Naima, winner of America's Next Top Model, and there goes That Jack! Hi, it's Emmy Perry, and you're watching That Jack.
It's Dolores Catania from Real Housewives of New Jersey, and you're watching That Jack.
Hi, I'm fashion designer Richard Hallmark from Project Runway Season 11, and we are here tonight for the Vanderpump event, and that's Jack.
Hi, I'm Lance Bass.
And I'm Michael Turchin.
And you're watching That Jack.
I'm Eva Capra from America's Next Top Model, and there goes That Jack!
I'm Reggie Benjamin, this is Ivana Benjamin and Toby the Pomsky, and you're watching That Jack.
Teddy Mellencamp Arroyave, and I'm watching That Jack.
And I'm Edwin Ariave, and I'm watching That Jack.
Hey, I'm Jenna Willis, and I'm watching That Jack.
I'm Christy Kibble.
And I'm Autumn Taylor, and you're watching That Jack.
Hey everybody, this is Billy Gilman from The Voice, and you're watching That Jack.
I'm Melissa Gorga, and you're watching That Jack. Hi, I'm Dominique Alexis, and you're watching That Jack.
My name is Patricia Darkea. I'm an inventor of Shady Face and Shady Paws Sunshades, and I'm with That Jack.
It's That Jack with Jack Stockton.
The exciting thing about being a project manager is I've got to work with a lot of different industries, not just fashion. I've worked in motorsport, I've worked with nightclubs and venue management, healthcare as well, and tech, which, you know, it's all very different. It was pretty exciting taking this project to New York. I have been there before and I love the city, but working in New York, I mean, really, it's the global business center of the world. The logistics of moving a team and all of their items from one side of the world to the other is a bit of a nightmare. Working remotely on a project is always quite challenging. With this one, when we arrived in New York, we had to hit the ground running, sourcing items that we needed to set up the headquarters so we could work effectively. With every project, there's a financial side. And we were very fortunate to have the support of Clive Palmer to make this trip happen. We realised after the show that there was a secret photo bomber with a photo on the runway. It was hilarious. It's great when successful people support other Aussies to show their skills and become successful. Even though the fashion industry seems glitz and glamour and a lot of fun, we got to see the hard work that goes into it, and globally, the industry is worth $2.4 trillion. For me, the success of the project probably was when we got back to the apartment afterwards and watched all of the comments come in. It was incredible to see people supporting our little Australian team. Standing at the end of the runway and watching the show come together was an incredible feeling. It was amazing to see all the hard work that we've done put together in such a beautiful manner, and also to see the looks on people's faces, you know, as everything came out and unfolded. Going to New York probably took my project management skills and I'd say my life experience to a whole new level. And I'd say it probably opened up some opportunities which I might not have had before.
I'm a Year 12 student who first met the designer during an interview with him as part of my HSC design course. For design and technology, I made a formal jacket for my graduation. It turned out to be much more complicated than I imagined. I'm a DJ, but I also do music production. When I was asked to mix some music for the runway, I jumped at the opportunity. Not only is choosing the music and order of each piece important, but it takes a lot of time to create something that allows for dynamic changes in tempo. There are also issues with sound quality and the legalities of using the music in a fashion show. I think music is a great way to bring people together and to enhance the feelings we have. I especially like DJing because I like the idea of kind of piecing together a story and a cohesiveness that really speaks true of the artist, that speaks true of the DJ. One thing I did notice during the runway show that made me really proud was how the energy of the audience picked up when my music started playing. I'm very interested in how the fashion industry works. It's a very creative industry that encompasses a lot of creative arts. Everyone wears clothes, so in a way fashion is a necessity in everyone's life. It's a form of self-expression. New York was an amazing place because I recognised a lot from what I'd seen on TV, but now I was seeing the real thing. The thing I liked most about New York was the architecture and Central Park. My favourite part of the trip was probably landing in JFK Airport. Just before we land, we could see the whole of New York and in its entirety. I think when you're a pedestrian or even a vehicle, you feel very small in a big city and you don't see a lot of it, but on a plane you capture the whole city in one glance. I really look forward to going back.
I'm a digital producer. For me, a normal day usually consists of a lot of technical and commercial type work. New York Fashion Week was an opportunity to do something different and really creative. Originally, I designed the inspiration images as a bit of fun, but from there we started talking about how we could integrate video into the show itself, and it just snowballed from there. We ended up producing a 3D visual diorama for the runway parade, as well as an intro video around the theme of The Wizard of Oz. It turned out to be a very fitting metaphor for the entire experience that we ourselves went through. I also had the task of producing the website, the online shop, and the lookbooks, which was a lot of work in a very short time. I'm not much of a fashion buff myself, but it was a real eye-opener for me. It was very much about melding creativity and business together to produce something that resonates with people. Nobody wants to be bored at a fashion parade, but at the same time, the buyers need to make objective decisions. And let's face it, at the end of the day, it's all about selling clothes. New York is a really big place with plenty of opportunity. I like the productivity that goes along with that, plus the very nice people. I really enjoyed the experience and look forward to going back again. Using the knowledge I now have, I'll try more new things and maybe push the standards even higher.
All I can say is I'm Australian and I'm going to be great.
Whether you choose to brighten your life with a crafted glass sculpture or rejuvenate your renovation plans with a one-of-a-kind glass architecture, our collection is sure to invigorate the interior design of your home or office. Glass Concepts 360 is a unique, individual collection of glass sculptures inspired by the natural, ethereal world. Sculptor Hens Nassau of Glass Concepts 360 creates one-of-a-kind glass art. She creates sinks, wall hangings, sculptures, panels, functional household objects, and jewelry. Glass Concepts 360 ships worldwide and exhibits pieces in galleries in Kansas and throughout the United States. Magic happens when a design becomes alive in shapes of glass.
It's the Jack Show with Jack Stockton live in New York City, presenting the one, the only fashion designer Daniel Alexander, New York. There's a new buzz on the fashion scene that's about to go global as Australian fashion sensation turned New Yorker designer Daniel Alexander hits the ground running. Daniel is an award-winning designer from Queensland, Australia. DA by Daniel is inspired by women who not only want to look fabulous but feel majestic when sliding into a DA creation. It's Daniel Alexander, New York in 3, 2, 1.
Guys, listen. It's a total family reunion. If you don't know who he is by now, you've been living under a rock. Look at it. DA by Daniel Alexander, right here. Turn around.
French Revolution. You said Karl Lagerfeld. You're such a hard worker.
Oh, yeah, I love fashion. Well, Brendan, that's what I wanted to talk about was the hard work that this designer puts in. I know every designer out there works really hard, but the way that you juggle and the way that you do it with style and grace and make everybody want to be you, how do you do it?
Well, you know what? Being myself is the best thing, you know? Some people love it, some people hate it, but at the same time, they love my clothes. How
can they hate it?
No, but the reality is it's a hard job, right? And yeah, it's like running a marathon, right? You can either give up halfway or keep going.
Kind of like a cross country, endurance.
That's so true. And I did a documentary in Australia, and we were talking about the team and everything. It's like, I was just a one-man band before, right? Now it's an orchestra. And the orchestra gets the ovation, not the drummer, right? So now I'm getting the ovation finally, thanks to you guys.
But listen, it's dabydaniel.com. Also, DA_Daniel at Instagram. We want you all over DA by Daniel, because if you're wearing him next year, then you're probably the in thing.
Whether you choose to brighten your life with a crafted glass sculpture or rejuvenate your renovation plans with a one-of-a-kind glass architecture, our collection is sure to invigorate the interior design of your home or office. Glass Concepts 360 is a unique, individual collection of glass sculptures inspired by the natural, ethereal world. Sculptor Hens Nassau of Glass Concepts 360 creates one-of-a-kind glass art. She creates sinks, wall hangings, sculptures, panels, functional household objects, and jewelry. Glass Concepts 360 ships worldwide and exhibits pieces in galleries in Kansas and throughout the United States. Magic happens when a design becomes alive in shapes of glass.
Can't disappear in my mouth. Roll, shake up the dice, throw down your ice. Let it all play a fuck the mice. Money ain't a thing, throw it out like rice. Been around the world, I same thing twice. Rub on my tits, squeeze on my ass. Give me some good, step on the gas. Pop the cork and roll up the ass. You know what we're about to set you up for
in life for free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I want money. Money. it's true. What you gonna get? I can't use. I want money.
Tossing upside down. I don't wanna be only the mystery. I'm no longer free in this misery. Boy, I'm falling down.